What is happening, guys? Cowboy here. Welcome back to part 3 of the walkthrough. So before we continue on, one thing I want to touch on is that if you haven't died by now, everything's gravy, but if you have, you probably noticed a couple cutscenes here or there, and that's because as you die, you get cutscenes looking back at the past, so just something to keep in mind for the experience. Now we're going to take a look at talents, see where I want to go here. Continue shooting, 5 soul energy per arrow. Air attacks. Mid-air dodging. Belt. Perfect block. Portal. Time. I'm gonna go for the lower path because I'm doing. I mean, this path isn't bad, but the whole. Well, actually, you know what? No, doubling energy on parries is pretty useful, I think. Yeah, why not? We'll go the upper path. There we go. That, and then you do not lose energy standing still. That one's always useful. Let's just farm our energy up. I'm just sitting basically, and it's just very, very slowly draining. Sitting at 37. Aye. Oop. Mr. Explodey. So we're gonna jump across. Hit me, exploded himself. There we go. There's the second book for the Phoenix. Right. Yeah, it's crystallized. Which isn't too bad. As you can see, 240 and reduced damage taken by 30%, whereas this is 240 and cooldown reduction. So either of these are good choices here. Oh, and this earlier I mentioned about how if you're a Death's Advocate, you can repair things. That's exactly what this is right here. You could repair this, and you'd have a death statue right before the boss. So up next to the Soul of the Phoenix, some main things to look out for. The boss can rush you with a flurry of attacks. You can roll through that. There's also a whirlwind. You can roll through that. Phase 2, they do an AoE multi-fireball type attack that can get a little bit hectic. So all in all, it's not a particularly challenging boss fight, but it can be a little bit tricky if you're, you know, just kind of letting it do whatever. See, that's the whirlwind that I was telling you about. It gets a little annoying. That stuff you can roll right through.
Ready to die?
It's always good to apply a bleed. See, now here comes phase 2. See the fireballs. Nothing too bad.
Reborn from ash.
Yeah, like I said, not too bad. Honestly, kind of one of the easier bosses in my experience. So from there, we'll go forward. As always, you can turn back, and if you want to fight the heroic version, rest, reset the world state. Once again, I wouldn't recommend jumping straight in against a just yet. I'm honestly feeling really good right now. I'll get that. I want to get strength up to 15 because there's a certain shield coming up that I want to be able to use. We have the one feather. Sword is beast. Alright, and here is where things get... Damn it, already messing up. This is next area is where things are going to get a bit spicy. And it's known as Obsidian Vale. Now, Obsidian Vale, at this point in the game, is most definitely the hardest place you visited so far. The enemies are pretty brutal. can kind of debate this guy in to set off those traps for you, but either way, he's going to do damage. Kill him, but if you're not careful, you can just as easily get away. There's also a bunch of traps in this area. You know, you got that guy rushing through the door. You got the traps that are on the ground. Oh yes, barbaric boots. Give me those right now. Vicious strength, delicious. Go ahead and use my one heal. You can roll through or block the icicles, really depending on your class. We're gonna go up here, grab the guy in blood. Not going to go down yet. That lightning stuff you can block. Gonna go up here. Trying to get the main thing we're doing here is we're trying to get up to that horn. That's what our goal is to sound the horn. So right now we're gonna get this. Medicinal plume. Thing is just trying to hit me. As you can see, 290 and dispels negative effects. Pretty nice to pick up. Oh, you like that fire? That you do. You can see the trap things right here. You can roll under to set them off. Oh my god. Hey, shit. Ooh, boy. Crystal Great Hammer. I haven't used that before. Need 20 strength, so I could use you right now. 149 damage. Ooh. Let's try this. I haven't used this weapon before. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. Oh man. Okay. I'll use it. And I will also, some other things I want to put on here real fast. That. So we are almost to, I think... We are going to use it. Because I am not dying. Let's see what this thing can do. Oh my god. This thing is monstrous. There we go. Now, for this next area, just run along through the trap. Now, to get our Tundra Lord Kaern book. God, I got hit. And here you can see.
You've gotten us into, you bumbling oaf.
Let's do.
Silence, Pop.
You there, standing around. We've run afoul of these wolves. I shudder to think what might become of me.
You mean us?
No. Mind
So-
releasing me from this cage?
We need to get the key. for
Thank the
them.
gods. The more I listen to her yap, the more I welcome death.
That can still be arranged.
Back in the last episode when I mentioned NPCs, you get her. She's an archer. You get him. He teaches warrior type stuff. So anyway, they're both useful in their own ways. Let me check over my notes here. Ah, yes. So if we go this way... Drop down, and that, and drop down. And we can now kill Snailbro. Now, this is where you gotta ask yourself, is do you want the skeleton key now, or do you want to potentially save him later? It's gonna be a long time before you can save him. The key isn't necessary, but it will make your experience a hell of a lot easier, whereas going through a New Game Plus and doing his quest line, I think it's gonna be better then, so my recommendation, kill Snailbro. If you want... See, looks at the Sergeant Payne. Yes, harder, flay our flesh. This is what he wants. shards, and the skeleton key. Now, we will go on back. Nope. Because otherwise we gotta go through this whole entire area before we get the key. Sucks. Because this way, if you're having issues, you know, at least you have the key. At least you can free people. And I might actually use this hammer for a bit. I'll have to check the hammer skills, but the damage it does is undeniable. All about big smash type things.
Mistra bless you. Find me again at Sanctuary, and I'll make good on my promise. Enjoy your stay, Green God.
You had me worried. Lest we leave, for the Amarogs catch our scent.
So they're both free now. Next we're gonna go up. God. There's a Vado Spear +2, which is actually pretty damn spicy. For a finesse weapon, 44 damage in the spear. With it already being +2, that makes it just, you know, really good. Definitely interested in trying out a spear playthrough at some point. So those two. Spikes. That. Stones. Added greaves. And whatever. I think it was more soul stones. Okay. We're gonna have to use this. Easy. Pop this open. A fragile courage. Now this part, we'll go here first. Feather upgrade. We get that item a little bit later, so don't worry about it for now. Now this next part is really, really difficult. What we can do, if we're careful, is basically jump across and hit that thing and only take a small bit of damage. Oh, nope. Took more than a small bit. Oh well. Use that. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna open that. Boop on them. Get the padded greaves. We're gonna open that. And now we're gonna jump down and we're gonna kill this guy. Him dead. Let's run over here. And there's the chest, but we've already used a phoenix feather, unfortunately. No, 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 no. Oh, they zippity zapped me. I think that's actually our first death. 2 days ago. Finally got the cutbacks, the cutscenes I wanted. This was us riding on into battle. Damn it! They sent us here to die. It's slow as balls, but it's good. Sad to see so many die for nothing. A healthy guy, but anyway, she takes you out no matter what.
It's time for me to go.
You have to leave.
I'm afraid so. What do I always tell you?
A life worth running.
That's right. Of course it is, Soren. Don't worry, my boy. I'll be back before you know it. Don't burn down the house while I'm gone.
needs more salt.
What are you?
What is a question of belief? Who is death?
Death. Is
The
this...
manifestation of your greatest regret. People tend to relive these moments in their waning throes.
This is my home, my family.
And yet, here we are.
And then this is what happened. Basically, made a deal with death. It's happening.
Cremation. One of your silly mortal customs.
I don't want to die. I can't.
One rarely has any say in the matter.
Can't you do something? Please.
Not in the mortal realm, no. But as long as you're here.
Back in the present. Ta-da! We're alive. So the one thing is, even though this hammer's doing big dick damage, we can't use any of our abilities with it. How much are you? 77. So we'll put this back on for now. At least until I have, at least until I get some of the hammer stuff. I mean, this thing is a beast. It's fast too. So, whoopsie daisy, upsie daisy. Upsie daisy. And the main thing we're looking for here is we're trying to get that chest. We're gonna wait. Ah, damn it. Oh my god. And you can see why this is so hard. Because, you know, what we're trying to do here is basically reach that chest without using a single plume. And we're gonna take some damage to that trap. Even with like a near perfect run and jump type thing, that trap is still going to boop us a fair amount. So definitely one of the trickier chests to get to. Let's see. We got booped. This time we made it. Alright, and we get an Immortality, which is a rare upgrade material. Good to have. You can shoot over the shields. You can get headshots on these things. Kind of how you saw me doing right there. There's something to keep in mind as you fire. It's that one where we died earlier. We'll go up top, kill these guys, because why the hell not? This way. And burn, burn, burn. Right. Got him. Now, one of the things I'd recommend is taking out as many people as you can here, because we're going to try and get back here. I want to get to the statues. This is going to be the closest one to the boss for us. So, now, typically I would suggest leveling up. I actually really want that gain extra shards type thing, so I'm not going to level up. Playing for the long run here, basically. If you're not confident in your abilities or you feel a little bit weaker, obviously leveling up is what you should be doing here. Being that this is not my first playthrough. Obviously pretty comfortable with how to get through everything. shards. And this is honestly probably the best area in the game for you to farm early on, at least. You know, once you know what you're doing, you can see you're getting. We're pulling in 50 shards for the melee guys, 20 for that guy, 20 shards for the casters. So good shardage here. And I do have this guy up ahead. Try and snipe him a little bit. Nice thing. And then go off and fall, and we have Tundra Lord Kaern. So basically just fall and hug the right side, and you'll get that. Then you go this way, go up that, you hit that.
I'll be back.
There he is again. Got those sunstones. Whoop. And now we are ready to go into a boss. So, I'm actually going to, well, I don't know. Well, the Phoenix is pretty easy. Deciding what I want to do episode-wise, because we did the whole Obsidian Vale thing here. We also did Soul of the Phoenix. Screw it. We'll keep this all as one episode. We'll take out Tundra Lord real fast. So Tundra Lord isn't a particularly hard boss. I'd say getting through this area is harder than fighting him. Phase 1, he's going to be pulling out icicles, so either dodge them or block them, similar to the icicles the shamans were doing. For his rush attack, you can roll through it, but just make sure you do it towards the end of the attack, otherwise he'll turn around and hit you. Phase 2, we basically kill frost pillars and bounce on the platform, and then Phase 3, he's going to float in the air, summoning icicles, and we just... So, all in all, not too bad of a fight. Probably the hardest part of this fight is that you do have to actually, you know, manage the platform like you see us doing right now. That. More damage than I thought he would. I'll give him that. So, on to Phase 2. You can see we just basically do this. It's one of those fights where if you want to have extra heals, it's not necessarily a bad thing. No, oh, no, oh, no, 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 oh, man. You can actually lose this by, oh, damn it. If you don't keep the platform balanced, it is entirely possible for the platform to just tip over and you die that way. So just something to keep in mind. Obviously, if we die to a boss, we get shards based on how far we got, which isn't too bad because with 1144, I can actually take that and go get that item that I wanted. So I'm going to go do that because now is an excellent time for that. That way I get an extra 15% coming off the boss as a reward. That way. So my health is obviously going to go way down with this, but more shards per kill in the long run. It's totally worth it. So either way, we are going to wrap this one up here for now. In the next episode, we will take out the Tundra Lord and then make our way on over to the Bulwark, as well as do kind of some wrap-up type stuff. So either way, make sure to stay tuned, and we will catch you guys with the next part where we have a boss double feature.